It is a day of mourning, shock, and profound embarrassment for the leadership of Adamawa State as the hydra-headed monster of insecurity has struck right at the doorstep of the #1 citizen of the state. If you are watching this, you need to understand that the war against terror in the northeast has just taken a very personal and dangerous turn. The headline you saw is not a fabrication. It is the cold, hard reality of what transpired in the dead of night in Kachinga, a community that is supposed to be the safest in the state because it is the ancestral home of His Excellency, Governor Ahmadu Fintiri. We are broadcasting this special breaking news report today, Monday, December 1, 2025, to bring you the full heartbreaking details of an attack that has sent shivers down the spine of every resident in Madagali local government area. Terrorists have not only invaded the governor's village, they have targeted a prominent political figure, killed him in cold blood, and dragged his children into the darkness of the Sambisa forest axis. The victim is Honorable Thlama Sini, a former councillor who served his people with diligence, only to be cut down in his own home. Let's get straight to the gist of this horrific incident. According to local sources and family members who witnessed the invasion, the terrorists stormed Kachinga late on Sunday night, carrying heavy weapons and operating with a terrifying level of confidence. They didn't come for a random raid. They went straight for the residence of Honorable Thlama Sini. This precision suggests they had intelligence. They knew who he was, and they knew exactly where to find him. The details of his final moments are painful to recount, but necessary for the world to understand the cruelty we are dealing with. When the gunmen broke into his house, they ordered the former councillor to follow them into the forest. Can you imagine the terror of that moment? A man in his own home, surrounded by his family, being told to march into the bush at gunpoint. Reports confirmed that Honorable Sini pleaded with them. He told them the truth about his health. He was diabetic and hypertensive. He tried to reason with them, explaining that his body could not survive the trek into the rugged terrain of Madagali and the Sambisa border axis. He begged them to spare him the physical torture of that journey. He even offered them a lifeline, asking them to name their price. He was willing to pay ransom right there, willing to give them whatever material wealth they wanted in exchange for his life and the safety of his children. But these were not men looking for a quick payout. They were men on a mission of destruction. They refused to negotiate. They ignored his pleas about his health. In a display of absolute heartlessness, they dragged him out of his compound to the outskirts of the village. And there, under the cover of darkness, they shot him dead. They executed a community leader because he was too sick to walk to his own prison. But their evil did not end there. As his lifeless body lay on the ground, they turned their guns on his 2 young sons and forced them to make the journey their father could not. As we speak, those 2 boys are in the custody of these killers, somewhere in the vast, ungoverned spaces that border Cameroon and Borno State. This attack is a direct psychological blow to Governor Ahmadu Fintiri. Kachinga is his village. It is where he votes. It is where his roots are. For terrorists to strike there with such impunity is a message: we can touch you anywhere. It shatters the illusion of safety that usually surrounds the hometowns of powerful politicians. If the governor cannot protect his own kinsmen, his own neighbors, and his own political associates in Kachinga, what hope does the common man in Yola or Mubi have? It is a humiliation that the security agencies will find hard to explain. We have to place this in the wider context of what is happening in the north right now. This is not an isolated incident. Just days ago, we saw the mass abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi State. We saw the invasion of a Catholic school in Niger State where over 300 students were taken. And now, Adamawa is bleeding. The north is under siege from a synchronized wave of terror that seems to be defying all military solutions. The timing of this attack in Madagali is also critical. Madagali sits on the edge of the Sambisa forest. It has been a battleground for over a decade. But recently, we were told that the insurgents have been degraded. This attack proves that they are not only active, but emboldened enough to strike high-profile targets. The atmosphere in Kachinga today is one of funeral silence and palpable fear. Residents are terrified. Many are packing their bags, fearing that the terrorists will return. The killing of Honorable Thlama Sini has sown panic among families who now feel that if a former councillor is not safe, nobody is safe. The security agencies have reportedly deployed personnel to the area to comb the forest for the abducted sons. But we have heard these promises before. The terrain is difficult, the forest is dense, and the enemy is ruthless. Governor Fintiri is currently in Kaduna for a high-stakes meeting with other northern governors and traditional rulers, including the Sultan of Sokoto, to discuss this exact issue of escalating insecurity. One can only imagine the phone call he received this morning breaking the news that his own village is on fire. It put him in a difficult position at that meeting. How do you proffer solutions for the region when your backyard is being overrun? This tragedy will likely force a harder, more aggressive stance from the Adamawa State government. But for Honorable Sini, it is too late. This incident also brings up the issue of the Lakurawa group we've been tracking. While Madagali has traditionally been Boko Haram territory, the style of this attack, the refusal to negotiate, the execution of the weak, bears the hallmark of the new, more brutal wave of criminality sweeping the region. Whether this was iswap, Boko Haram, or a splinter group, the result is the same. A family is destroyed, a community is traumatized, and the state looks helpless. If you are finding this breakdown of the security situation valuable and you want to stay informed about the rescue mission for the Sini boys, please take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. We are committed to bringing you the stories that matter, even when they are painful. As we wait for an official statement from the governor's office and the police command, we must ask the hard questions. Where was the intelligence? Madagali is a known flashpoint. Why was there no rapid response when the terrorists entered the town? How can a convoy of gunmen operate so freely in a state under a curfew and heavy military presence? These are the questions the people of Adamawa are asking today. The death of Honorable Thlama Sini must not just be another statistic, it must be a turning point. We pray for the safe return of his two sons, we pray for the soul of the departed, and we pray for Nigeria. Stay tuned for updates as this story develops.